The Body Shop with Meredith McDonough and Dr. Steve is brought to you by Allegheny Chesapeake Physical Therapy.
Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of The Body Shop with Dr. Steve. I'm Meredith McDonough. This week's topic is something I think everyone's going to be interested in. Well, that is if you love golf. I happen to be a huge golf fan, but I will say it can be such a frustrating sport, Dr. Steve.
It is a frustrating game. And there's 36 million people out there golfing in the world. 26 million of them are in the United States. And they're all frustrated.
I'm one of them.
You're one of them. And there's all kinds of clubs. It's a huge industry because there's that many people there. They're all trying to improve their game. They're buying clubs, they're buying big Berthas, they're buying larger Berthas, they're buying giant Berthas, buying clubs to try and improve their game.
Is there anything wrong with that? I'm probably one of those people buying the club. If they tell me it's going to increase my distance about 12 yards, I'm there. I'm trying it out.
And you're not uncommon, actually. There's nothing wrong with them as long as it's part of the big picture. In other words, to give you an analogy, if you went and bought and you wanted to race a Formula One race car, if you had a car and you bought the frame of the car and brought it back and wanted to race in Formula One and you put your go-kart engine in it, it wouldn't go any faster. It may look good, but it wouldn't go any faster. Same thing is true. You got to work on your body.
Okay, so that makes sense. But so what do we golfers do then?
The golfers literally have to work on their engine, similar to the go-kart engine. You're better off getting a good engine for a Formula One race car and then putting a body on top of it, which would be, in this case, your body needs to be strong, flexible, and it has to actually be the motor. The club's no good without a good motor.
All right, well, Dr. Steve, don't hold out on me. Show me what these exercises are. I need to know this. Spring's around the corner.
You're right. The exercises actually are strengthening the whole body. Number one, starting with your core, and then starting with your upper extremities and lower extremities. And incorporated in those exercises is a plyometric program. The plyometrics is what sort of that combination puts it together for a golf swing.
Okay, refresh my memory. We used to do plyometrics for conditioning for basketball, but exactly what are plyometrics?
Plyometrics is sort of trying to develop explosive strength. Explosive strength is sort of quick ballistic strength. You start with a muscle when it's sort of lengthened first, and then you contract it very quickly. It's sort of different than most exercise machines and other things, but it's very functional.
Okay, now talk a little bit about, you had said the core muscle, the upper, the lower body, strengthening that. What does that do also for the swing and for your game?
Well, it's conditioning the motor. If you get the motor in the correct condition, it can tolerate 18 holes of hitting the golf club and stay more consistent, and you're using your whole body in a golf swing. Typically, you just tend to say, okay, I want upper body strength or flexibility, but that isn't it. This is driven from your toes to your head.
All right, so Dr. Steve, I'm sure Tiger Woods is out there strengthening, doing those exercises, but I'm sure he also has a good golf coach. So what do you think about that?
It's very similar. Very similar to the exercises. The evidence can show you that you can increase your distance by doing these exercises. There's no question. The research tells us that. Research also tells us that if you take three groups, three different golfers, one that just hits balls for 90 minutes, one that hits it with a coach, one that hits it with a coach and video, the person who does the best that day is the one that has no instruction. However, 2 weeks later, the learning event occurs, and the people who had the video and the coaching actually improved their swing and their accuracy along with their distance.
Oh, wow.
So if you exercise and then you have a coach with some video, you're in good shape.
So Dr. Steve, you are saying then there's help for all of us frustrated golfers out there like me.
There is, absolutely. First, invest in your body, then invest in the clubs.
Okay, I'm going to take your advice. I'm going to do this workout here.
Good deal.
All right, once again, thank you, Dr. Steve. If you have any questions for your golf game, all you have to do is give Dr. Steve a call at 1-800-332-5740 or log on to www.AlleghenyChesapeake.com. And that does it for this week's edition of The Body Shop. Thanks, Dr. Steve.
You're welcome.